It's true, it's worse than Mobius. It's true that it's possibly one of the worst comic book movies in a very long time. Yeah, you remember Next from Nicolas Cage, a movie from around 2006, 2007. The movie that was a story about a person who could actually see the future and then try to do something to avert whatever was happening in the future. Well, Madame Web is that movie plus a bit of Spider-Man. They literally took that idea and then took the character from the comic book and put her in that particular story. But the only thing is that this was poorly done. I don't know if I'm making sense. This movie is frustratingly bad. And at first I thought people were like, it's bad, it's going to be like Mobius, it's going to have 1 or 2, 3 scenes that are going to be awesome. But it's bad in a CW way. If you've ever seen any CW show, this feels like it. The costume look off. There are these people that live in the Amazon called the Spiderweb people. I didn't understand what the idea was with those people. Yes, there's a lot of exposition that tries to tell us about those people, but at the end of the movie, I still don't understand what that was about. Second thing, those people, their costumes look off. And look, we haven't even gotten to our main character yet, because our main character comes after something happens to her mother thanks to the villain, the antagonist in this particular film. And whatever happens to her mom, the connection between that and the bad guy, for me, that would have been the story. You know, that would have been the string that brings everything together, rather than include these 3 other characters that we are forced to follow, yet they don't really add anything to the story. Because every time that they were on screen, I was like, why are we following these characters? Yes, the bad guy is like, oh, I need to kill those people because I saw a vision that they were going to kill me. But why exactly do we need? Because they're not interesting people. You know, they're not characters that you want to be with. They're not characters that you want to follow. You know, naturally, a story is supposed to have characters that you either really hate, that you really want to see something bad happen to them, or you want to see what eventually happens to them, or people that are so good that you don't want anything to happen to them. But these guys were just there. You know, they were like props. They are always in the background, they're there to be protected, but they really don't add any value to the story. You know, they're there as the motivation for the hero. You know, they're not actually there to serve the narrative. So I thought that, I wish that the director and the writers could have just focused on this one particular character, the mom and our main character, and try to explore, you know, the concept, because they try to explore that idea of whatever happened to her mom and her trying to find what happened to her and where she came from and her abilities and stuff, and her actually going back to Amazon and meeting one of the spider. I wish that would have been the story, and then they flesh out the villain, because the villain is one of those villains who's there because he's just a bad guy. There's nothing to him. We don't know what motivates him. We don't know apart from the fear of being killed by these other guards, seeing a vision. I mean, why would you go kill people because of a vision? You know, that doesn't make sense to me. You know, why would you go hunting down people because you had a vision that they were going to kill you in the open space? You know, there's a train scene and you wonder, dude, why are you taking this risk to expose yourself? You know, even if you are to do it, if you're a wealthy person, why would you take the risk to actually do these things in the open? Why wouldn't you take time to investigate and you know, try a different way of taking them out separately, one by one? That for me was and it feels like the movie is structured in such a way that one event is constantly pushing for the next event to happen. You don't actually sit in a scene and enjoy it, because it feels like, let's move forward with this, let's move forward with this. There's that feeling that we are constantly being pushed forward, and that pushing forward leads us to the finale, which is lackluster. You know, they didn't make an effort to do something creative with the idea of seeing into the future. You remember I talked about Next as I began this review. Next had a nice twist at the end, a very good one that left you wondering, wow, okay, so we're going back to it just had a very good use of Nicolas Cage's ability. But in this movie, they don't try to give us that fantastic twist that goes like, yes, the people who are writing this understood this ability and how to use this ability adequately. And back to the villain. Back to the villain. The villain has a henchwoman. You know, the guy on the computer. He has a woman on the computer, and that's all she does in the film. They don't give her any arc. They don't add any value to her. There's nothing about her that makes her interesting. She's just there to show us that our villain is able to connect and find the good guys. Our villain is able to track these good guys. And I'm like, there's potential here because we don't know much about this villain. There's potential of trying to use her to tell us more about this guy. You know, there's an ability to tell us maybe something about the past of this guy that we don't know. There's an ability to use this character to maybe give us an idea about the bad guy's world, you know, his universe and where he's coming from. Try to understand him, because apart from the death of those 3 other women, we don't know anything about him. We don't know any other thing that motivates him. Even his suit doesn't look well. It looks good from a distance. It looks terrible when it's close up. Now, the other thing that is so on your face that it just gives you a migraine if you don't like flashes, it's the editing. Yeah, they use those quick flashes from the 2000s. You remember them, the quick cuts, and then quick cuts to the flash, and quick cut to the flash. Then you have now the action set pieces having those like super quick cuts, and you're like, come on, let's just slow down. Let us take in the action set pieces. Let's not just cut into something else so quickly. There's a warehouse scene with explosives, and my goodness, that goes out very, very quickly. The final big battle, you're like, oh my god, this had potential to be a very good horror movie kind of scene. You know, if it was directed by someone like James Wan, I'm sorry, I'm not saying that this director did not do a good job. Making a film is hard, and she did something that is cohesive, but it's not good. But there's a structure, there's events follow each other. Basically, it's a movie, but it's not a good movie. If James Wan was able to shoot, if James Wan shot this movie and shot that last scene, it would have been spectacular. A scene with some smoke bombs, and then the spider person moves around and you cannot hear his footprints. He's so silent, and you can see just how he moves. So that had a potential of being a very good horror movie. So Madam Web is not a good movie. What people are saying, it's true. Don't waste your money going to the film. I can confidently say that. It's true. It's worse than Mobius. It's true that it's possibly one of the worst comic book movies in a very long time. And you should not pay to go see this in the cinemas. Yes, this can pass for streaming. Remember the CW thing that I said? It can pass for a CW movie. You can just wait on it if it comes on Netflix, because I am positively sure that this is going on Netflix. At one point in time, this will go on stream. So if you are to ask me the goods, because my formula is usually intro, good, and what is the bad, I don't know. It was a good idea. There was an idea behind it. If they brought in the mom and tried to do a better twist with her power, you know, at the end, I think it would have been a good film. If they would have removed the 3 female characters and focused on our main character's life and her mother, the connection with her death, and her trying to find out who killed her, and then coming to this person and this person now trying to, you know, take out any other person with the spider power, that would have been a more interesting story, because it would have been a more engaging story. Because this is I'm sorry I have to say this, but this is also super predictable. Yeah. So the good is that they just had a good idea, but it's poorly written, it's poorly shot, it's poorly done. It's okay. It's directed okay. There's a cohesiveness in how the events flow, despite the fact that they flow very quickly. It's not a disjointed product. So the direction is, it's okay, but the writing, the editing, how it's shot, the costumes, they're just terrible. Yeah, it looks like a CW show. If you know a CW show, That's how it looks like. So basically that's it. If you've seen the movie, what do you think? If you are just about to go see the movie, don't waste your money. Even if you want to hate watch it, just don't, because this is the problem with Hollywood today. You know, get a female director, get female-led movie, female directed. Do you have a good story? Nah, who cares? Just connect it to the Spider-Man universe or something, and they'll come and watch it. That's how it feels like. That's how it feels like the executive were talking, and it makes me wonder: is it that Sony has so much money to waste? Is it that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and the Spider-Man games did so well that they feel like they can just splash cash around? Because they've been making like super bad movie. They've been making like super bad movies connected to the Spider-Man universe. It has that feeling that they have a lot of money to splash around in poor quality, you know, without the care that they have fans, and fans have an expectation. Anyway, that's basically it. Thanks for watching. Remember to always watch what you enjoy, and then enjoy what you watch, and I shall see you on the next one.